Hi Simona.
Hi, so thanks for taking time for this interview. We decided because of the COVID-19 situation to start this new series of interview for the TripleA-reno project, which we called the TripleA-reno Home Show. So because we are all forced to this new working environment, like your home with your beautiful plants on the background.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we decided to bring the people inside the homes of our project partners. So Giulia, where are you right now?
So right now I'm in Brussels, in my place. I live in an apartment, but happily I have a very nice south-oriented balcony. So very important feature.
Very important.
In times of lockdown, yes.
Very
but
important.
Yeah.
So yeah, Giulia, she's one of our project partner. Giulia works at REHVA, which is the Federation of the European HVAC Association, representing more than 100,000 HVAC engineers and technicians from 26 European countries. And REHVA is involved in several European projects and is also involved in TripleA-reno as a leader of our communication and dissemination. So we call REHVA one of our umbrella association representing members in Europe. And Giulia Marenghi. Giulia is a project communication officer at REHVA. She holds a bachelor in economics from the University of Bologna and a master in economic sciences that she got in Belgium. So she's living in Belgium from quite a while. And since 2016, she's been working at REHVA, and she deals with administrative and financial issues and also communication and dissemination actions related to our European projects. So you have been, for how long you have been involved in Horizon 2020 project, Giulia, and how do you think these projects differ from others that you have been working in your professional career?
So I have been working on H2020 projects since I have joined the team of REHVA in 2016. Initially, I have been involved mainly on administrative and financial issues, and then I came also into stricter contact with dissemination and communication activities related to this project. I don't have a huge benchmark of typologies of projects because this is actually my first job. So I don't have experience in other EU programs, a part of a short internship I had in a consultancy based in Belgium that was dealing with Interreg projects. And what I can say is that probably the H2020 projects, they have a much more detailed technical scope. So let's say that Interreg, for example, they stress much more on economic and social development of a particular region in Europe, while H2020 projects are research and innovation projects. So you have high technological level output.
Yeah, yeah. And talking about TripleA-reno specifically, can you tell us a little bit what does this project mean for REHVA and for the members that you're representing, and what's in your opinion the added value of this project?
So TripleA-reno is one of the H2020 projects that REHVA is involved in. As you mentioned before, REHVA is involved in various H2020 projects, and we do so since 2005. Actually, we've been involved in more than 30 research and innovation projects funded by the EU in the field of buildings energy efficiency. We, in this project, represent the skills and needs of building services engineers. And in this sense, I think that the TripleA-reno project is a very interesting and unique experience because the core of the project itself is the creation of this open gamified platform that will be serving like a knowledge hub, not just for users, but also for professionals that are involved in the building renovation process. And we, as REHVA, we believe that knowledge, expertise, and technology sharing platforms and experiences have a very high value for our members, and this is why we push for them to be involved in this project.
Yeah, that's absolutely central indeed in TripleA-reno. Yeah, you mentioned home renovation, which is indeed the core of the project. What is, in your opinion, still the main barriers in Europe for more, let's say, affordable, attractive, and acceptable home renovation?
I think that we have many different kinds of barriers, actually. We have some barriers from the supply side, especially in terms of services and skills. So we have various technical challenges to be addressed. We have market fragmentation. We have sometimes also a lack of capacities in terms of professional skills. But also we have some barriers from the demand side. So it's the users as well that are missing some information. And this lack of information and awareness on the home renovation topic added to the fact that users are consumers, and consumers do not always take economically rational decisions, especially if they are not well informed, can jeopardize the building renovation demand. So we can have a lower level of home renovation on the market than what it should be optimally.
Yeah.
Other two factors that I think are influencing the home renovation demand are more broadly related to the economical and the political environment. So we have financial barriers, such as the fact that we have a lack of funding instruments, or that the funding instruments that are available are not necessarily adapted to all the kind of renovation projects, especially if it comes to residential renovation projects, and to legal barriers, such as a lack of specific framework, or the fact that we have uneven legal framework across the EU.
Yeah, absolutely. We mentioned several times the three pillars of social, financial, and legislative barriers that indeed are still there, and we know that several projects are trying to tackle these. You also mentioned that we are trying to develop this digital hub where information is available, and we experience these days more than ever, how digital tools are supportive and can make our life better and to access services. And so we're really living this digitalization transformation. And how do you foresee a future in which renovations could be fully designed by people, for instance, just comfortably sitting on their couch, like really getting into their home through technology?
But I think that it's a question that is very interesting, especially if we consider how we are working now in these days. So I think that we should try to consider all this lockdown situation as a huge occasion, finally, to strive for digitalization, to go for it. And digitalization can have a vast range of benefits, in my opinion, especially related to employment and working condition when it comes to the building renovation sector. Regarding employment, because digitalization can boost the creation of a more inclusive labor market, especially for those categories that are struggling to getting in, so young professionals and in some cases also women. If we consider that the building renovation sector is aging, then digitalization could help filling this gap, helping these categories to enter the labor market and replacing the aging workforce. In terms of working condition, digitalization can offer the possibility to have technologies that will make us work much more indoor and much less outdoor. So we will have not only more jobs, but also higher skilled jobs.
Yeah. That's, I think it's really important to have your perspective, because we are very often talking about renovation just on the construction side, but it's important to understand all these elements related to education and also market penetration of technological solution. I mentioned before that REHVA is a federation of the European engineers and technicians, especially when it comes to building control systems and HVAC systems. Can you tell us a little bit more? What's a specific role in TripleA-reno, specifically related to REHVA? How this umbrella organization that is also very important in like driving policies, for instance, and communicating with members can make a change or can foster this this renovation wave in Europe?
So I think that our role, as you mentioned, is first of all to represent from a political point of view also the voice of our members. This is also what they ask from us, so to be represented at Brussels level. And I think that it's important for us to advocate on certain specific issues, such as the indoor environmental quality, that doesn't have to be left behind in this time. So we will have most probably a wave of investments on the building renovation sector, but we have to make sure that these investments, this renovation will comply with certain standards of indoor environmental quality. And I think that this is one of the key points that we have to struggle for.
Yeah, and you're giving a very important contribution to the project that is now running for 2 years. So we already got some experience, and we started to work really on a practical term. For instance, we organized together some conferences, workshops, events that were very successful, and also a playground to learn what we could do better and also how to engage differently with different languages, depending on different members that we're trying to reach out. Can you tell 3 main lessons that you've learned from the TripleA-reno project so far, and also that made you think differently in a way you're envisioning the future of our renovations?
I think that the 3 key aspects that are very important in the TripleA-reno project and should be taken in consideration also beyond the project itself is, first of all, the spotlight on the engagement of consumers, of users. That are also consumers, by the way, in some point of view, and to do so by providing them with a gamified platform that can provide clear information about very technical topics, actually, such as energy efficiency of their home, indoor environmental quality, and health and well-being. Second aspect is connected to the first, and is the importance of the user behavior when it comes to building renovation. So the fact that in TripleA-reno we focus on users to overcome these social barriers to home renovation that we've been mentioning before. And the third aspect is the importance of having a multidisciplinary approach because I think that this approach is very important when it comes to address the entire building renovation value chain. In order to have a high quality renovation project, we have to think that various professional figures are involved. So we cannot solve a complex problem using only one point of view. Yeah. But we have to assure that there is a thorough vision of the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the most innovative element of TripleA-reno is that we don't want, or we're not trying to make renovation affordable, just convincing the final user that is also a client in a sense, but also making sure that who is providing the service provides a service which is more attractive. So as you mentioned, this is only possible through a multidisciplinary approach. And what are your hopes for the results of this project?
First of all, I would like that the project reach the goal number one, which is to trigger home renovation, of course. And secondly, I would like that these three lessons, these three key points that are characterizing the project, so the engagement of users, the importance of user behaviors when it comes to home renovation, and the multidisciplinary approach will be let's say, popularized amongst key stakeholders in the building renovation sector.
Thank you, Giulia. Yeah, it was a very nice chat. And
thank you, Simona.
We hope to see you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.